Good afternoon, children. Nana Janet here. I've got another old-fashioned story. I don't know if it's been changed for you in this book, but it's a famous story. It goes back years. It's called Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I remember writing a version of this for my children when they were little. This is by Andrew Lang. I forgot to mention your names. Jude, Abraham, Jad, Arisha Mary, Yemaya Rose. Nana Janet's going to start now. Once upon a time, there was a little girl called Goldilocks who lived in a great forest with her mother and her father. Now, ever since she was tiny, her mother had told her she must never ever wander off into the forest, for it was full of wild creatures, especially bears. But as Goldilocks grew older, she longed to explore the forest. One wash day, when her mother was busy in the kitchen, hidden in clouds of steam, because they didn't have washing machines then, had to be done all by hand, Goldilocks sneaked off down the path that led deep into the forest. At first she was happy, looking at the wildflowers and listening to the birds singing, but it did not take long for her to become hopelessly lost. She wandered for hours and hours, and as it grew darker, she became frightened. She started to cry. But then she saw a light shining through the trees. She rushed forward, sure she had found her way home, only to realize that it was not her own cottage that she was looking at. Even so, she opened the door and looked inside. On a scrubbed wooden table there were 3 bowls of steaming hot porridge, a big one, a middle-sized one, and a little one. Goldilocks was so tired that she quite forgot all her manners and just sat down at the table. The big bowl was too tall for her to reach. The middle-sized bowl was too hot, but the little one was just right, so she ate all the porridge. By the warm fire there were 3 chairs, a big one, a middle-sized one, and a little one. Goldilocks couldn't climb up into the big one. The middle-sized one was too hard. The little one was just the right size. But as soon as she sat down, it broke into pieces. Goldilocks scrambled to her feet and then noticed there were steps going upstairs, where she found 3 beds, a big one, a middle-sized one, and a little one. The big bed was too hard. The middle-sized one was too soft, but the little one was just right, and she was soon fast asleep. The cottage belonged to 3 bears, and it was not long before they came home. They knew at once that someone had been inside. Father Bear growled, "Who has been eating my porridge?" Mother Bear grumbled, "Who's been eating my porridge?" And Baby Bear gasped, "Who's been eating my porridge and has eaten it all?" The bears looked round the room. They looked at the chairs by the warm fire. Father Bear growled, "Who has been sitting in my chair?" Mother Bear grumbled, "Who has been sitting in my chair?" And Baby Bear gasped, "Who has been sitting in my chair and has broken it to bits?" The bears went upstairs to look at their beds. Father Bear growled, "Who's been sleeping in my bed?" Mother Bear grumbled, "Who has been sleeping in my bed?" And Baby Bear gasped, "Who has been sleeping in my bed and is still Suddenly Goldilocks woke up. All she could see was 3 very cross-looking bears. She jumped off the bed, ran down the stairs and out of the door. She ran and ran and ran and ran and ran, and by good fortune found herself outside her own cottage. Her mother and father scolded her, but then gave her lots of hugs and kisses and a big bowl of soup. Goldilocks had certainly learnt her lesson, and she never wandered off again. I'll just show you the back page of that story. See the bears. The bears are looking after her, probably cross as she ran away. That was a lovely story, wasn't it? We all know that story. Everybody knows it. But it's still nice to tell it again, isn't it? I like the old stories. God bless. Bye-bye. See you soon. Nana Janet saying bye-bye.